All right. My name is Hamza Halexib Abdullah. My real name is Alexander James Hicks. If you want to look up anything about me, you can. I have a bachelor's of science in computer engineering, and I am a historian, especially with the pagan Meccan era before the Quran came down and during the time. So we're going to talk about this right here. Is child marriage legal in Islam? And did the Prophet marry a 6 to 9 year old? And the short answer is no. But I'm going to go into the long answer. So here we have this hadith, Sahih al-Bukhari 5134. All right. The Prophet married her when she was 6 years old, and he consummated his marriage when she was 9 years old. Hisham said, "I've been informed that Aisha remained with the Prophet for 9 years." So first off, you can see that this is truly not even narrated by Aisha, because it says that the Prophet married her. She would have said the Prophet married me, and there's another one that does say that as well. So, but if you take these hadiths to be sahih or true in Sahih al-Bukhari, then you must also take this hadith as well to be true, which is, let me see if I can get that. Let me go back over here. The Sahih al-Bukhari 2880. Now, I'm going to read this narrated by Anas. On the day of the battle of Uhud, when some people retreated and left the Prophet, I saw Aisha bin Abu Bakr and Salam with the robes tucked up so that the bangles around their ankles were visible, hurrying with their water skins. Or another narration, carrying the water skins on their backs. Then they would pour the water in the mouths of the people and would fill the water skins again and came back to pour water in the mouths of people. So the Battle of Uhud took place in 625 AD. And according to Islamic tradition, the marriage between Aisha and Prophet ﷺ took place in 623 AD. Now, we must look at this hadith, also in Bukhari, stating the age of fighting or participating in battle, which is 15. Okay, so this is narrated by Ibn Umar, once again, Sahih Bukhari 2664. Allah's messenger called me to present myself in front of him of the eve of the battle. Uhud was 14 years of age, and he did not allow me to take part in that battle, but he called me in front of him on the eve of the battle of the trench when I was 15 years old, and he allowed me to join the battle. Nafi said, I went to Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, who was caliph at the time, and related above narration, he said, this age, 15, is the limit between childhood and manhood, and wrote his governors and salaries to those who reached the age of 15. So, as you can see, the minimum age to be participating in battle or even giving water out on the battlefield is 15. By these hadiths show that this hadith is incorrect. So basically, in 625, if you take the age that she said would be 6 to 9 years old, you would see that she was at least 8 to 11 at the time of the Battle of Uhud. So nobody in their right mind would let a child go out onto the battlefield, even to give water. So that's debunked right there. She was at least 15 in 625. And people, a lot of scholars have it as 6 to 9 just because they really don't care about it. And that's not really the main point of Islam. But she was at least 16 to 19 years old during her marriage. Some say 19 to 21. If you look at the Asma biography, she was 19 years old. All right, so that's the end of that debate right there. Now we're going to look at actual child marriage to see if it is actually legal in Islam. So let me give you the background. In pagan Arabia, they did marry children. This is before the time that the Quran came down. And in Mecca, it was a lawless state. There were no laws. All right, anybody could do whatever they wanted to. They used to bury their daughters alive and do a lot of other things that I don't want to talk about. So I'm going to read this, and I'm going to read the tafsir, and I'm going to explain the tafsir, and that is the end of my video. So as for the women past the age of menstruation, in case you do not know, their waiting period is 3 months, and for those who have not menstruated as well. As for those who are pregnant, their waiting period ends with delivery, and whoever is mindful of Allah, he will make their matters easy for them. Now, the title of this this chapter is Divorce, al-Talaq. So this is specifically talking about women that are divorced. All right. Now, we read the footnote. This applies to pregnant women who are divorced or widowed. All right, so we're going to read the tafsir. Like I said, they did have child marriage before the Quran came down. So with this, they made it to where it showed also that the same is the it of young women who have not yet started menstruating on account of being underage. So what we must understand is the fact that they married children before the Quran, and these are laws for these people that did marry children. Now, they did not encourage it. Obviously, no one wants to marry a child if they're a true Muslim. All right. But people like to twist and manipulate these tafsirs to give some kind of justification for pedophilia. So I hope that helps, that we do not encourage child marriage, and that the only people that were marrying children at the time were the Meccan pagans. And this was a rule for them as well. But in the actual verse does not speak about children that were not married. Therefore, you cannot marry a child. If anybody wants to continue to speak about this, then that's your thing, man. But Islam does not encourage child marriage and actually banned it. But people, like I said, like to justify what their intentions are with young women or women that have not menstruated with these tafsirs. The scholars that I've looked at and read on, watched their videos, it's more of a just go with it type of situation. But yeah, I hope this helps. Thank you.